What is going on, Movie Meals? Movie Meals. Thank Movie Meal patrons, Kimberly and Karen. Go get some merch. I'll link down in the description. We're here to talk. I can't even talk. We're here to talk about Fast and Furious X. Marks the spot. Go do all that great stuff. Non-spoiler review. Let's get into it. Kyle, what are your positives? I didn't say negatives. I said positives of the Fast and Furious film X.
I guess I would say what I liked was the inclusion of the new actors that came in, because I thought that for some reason in this one, I felt that there was like a spark and an energy that I wasn't feeling from the previous cast or the current cast that we've known over the past handful of movie. From the likes of Brie Larson to Alan Ritchson. I'm trying to remember his last name, but I love him as an actor.
He's great.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him, by the way. It's happy to see him finally getting like a big budget role such as this.
He's great in
but
Jack
anyway,
Ryan.
Yes, very good in that. He's just always good, and I appreciate that about him. But the new cast members that go in, for some reason, I just maybe I just like them in general, but I just thought they had an energy to them that was infectious. Like you were understanding of why they would enjoy being in this type of movie as much as you would want to see that type of movie. And that's especially the case with Jason Momoa. I thought when it comes to the Fast and Furious villains, I never remember a single one of them, mostly because they turn out to join the good guys anyway. But Jason Momoa here, I really liked him, just because I thought he felt different from the other villains that usually are just so serious as like Vin Diesel is in these movies. But Jason Momoa was more of the reverse in here, to where he had a charismatic, chaotic energy to him that I really liked about it. But that's all I really have to say. So what
My
do you
apologies.
think,
He's Jack Reacher, not Jack Ryan. Too many Jacks running around.
Oh, yes.
I have so much nostalgia for these movies. The first two, my sister showed me, and we used to watch them all the time together. So I have a lot of nostalgia. These movies are part of my growing up, really, and bonding with my sister. So I will always probably really enjoy these films. I thought the action in this was great. I thought it was very funny at times. I thought it was unintentionally very funny at times. I had just a lot of fun. I mean, I go to these movies for what they're made for. They're made to be fun. And I had a lot of fun in the movie. It doesn't mean I don't have complaints. There's not a single thing anyone can tell me that's wrong with these movies that I would not disagree with. I agree with them. But I still had a lot of fun. I enjoyed the ticket. I love the fact that Ludacris and Too Fast, Too Furious is just a garage owner, and he's just working on cars. And in this one, he's hacking into Pentagons, and he's going into space in one of the movies. I love it. I think they're outlandishly crazy. I did really enjoy the new additions. I mean, Alan Richardson also even they poke fun at this franchise to this point where he literally is like, I'm not going to be one of these guys that comes in and joins the barbecue later. And
I did appreciate that.
I was loving all that. I did think Jason Momoa was a very good and different villain. He was definitely very interesting, and I enjoyed him. I don't know. He was very... He like the villains in Fast and Furious take themselves very seriously. They tend to be a little bit mustache twirling, like they're going to explain their plan, and then obviously it goes off the rails, like very old school, that type of villain. And this is the first time I felt like they had a cartoon villain. Jason Momoa is living in a cartoon in this movie, which is weird to say for Fast and Furious. I enjoyed him. And I liked the way the film ended. I thought it was the first time we've actually really seen that style of ending without spoiling it here. But yeah, Kyle, what were your negatives of the film?
I just think at the end of the day, I just have become numb to these movies. Like, there's 10 of them at this point. Like, I've seen, like, them just get so bigger and bigger and more bombastic over time that I just know that it's going to be that way, and I just don't have a reaction to them in a positive light anymore. It just has become that type of franchise for me to where I just don't feel a surprise anymore, so I just don't have very much to say when it comes to these movies whenever they come out. And I just kind of felt that with Fast X. I was just feeling that way the whole way through. I know it's part one of a trilogy or whatever, but really it just felt way too stretched out, even for how long these movies usually get, to where this could just be a singular story. It doesn't need to end on a cliffhanger, although I get why they do it, because it's a good way to make money, yada yada. But it just, even for these types of movies, it just felt overly long, and I just am so used to them that I don't have any sort of reaction to them at this point. So, mainly for Fast and Furious movies, if these are up your alley, have at it, but if you're like me to where you're getting used to them and they're kind of played out for you, you're going to feel the same way as I do.
I had one interesting problem with this movie that I've never had in a Fast and Furious movie. And please hear me out, okay? Again, I'm a big fan of all these films. I'm a fan of film. But this movie was the worst of every single Fast and Furious movie by a mile, pun intended, in terms of its editing and in terms of its shot selection. It was awkward. At times, I didn't believe that Brie Larson was there talking to Vin Diesel or talking to whoever. Like, I truly thought it was just her talking to a random actor, because they did so many mid-range shots of their face back and forth so often that it led to a stale performance that I do not think was their fault, especially Brie's fault, because she got the trial the worst. And when, look, we can sit here and debate and argue about if the Fast and Furious, whatever they are, it doesn't matter what movie we're talking about. Now we're talking about somebody who works in Hollywood as an editor. This is their job. Editing can ruin a great performance. Editing can make a bad performance better. And the editing tier was so awful that I was like, even if they're just having fun, I'm not getting fun from some of these actors. I'm getting stale. And I don't like that. I think that brought the movie down a peg. I mean, I enjoyed it. I laughed quite often, but I was sitting there like, wow, like I can't even handle these conversations because the editing is so poor. I mean, the movies, look, we've been saying forever, these movies are dumb, fun movies. They're getting dumber. That's definitely for sure. I still enjoy them. They're not, they show a lot of scenes of Fast 5 in this one, and it's like, wow, that was a really great action movie. Like, I feel like Fast 1 and 2 are trying to, I mean, they are heist movies, but they're trying to do something, be a street racing heist kind of movie. Then we slowly transition into actually good action movies. And realistically, and as hard, as weird as it is to say, I guess, but as soon as Paul Walker's character was no longer involved for obvious reasons, RIP to Paul Walker, but as soon as his character wasn't involved, they have definitely gone downhill in the dumb range. Every time Vin Diesel spoke in this movie, it was like one of his speeches that would happen maybe at the end of the movie in Fast 5. And now it's like every scene he's in, it's super intense. And again, I have fun, but they are definitely getting dumber. But the theater I was in was loving it. From start to finish, it was laughter. It was a good time. I enjoyed the film. Do you have any final thoughts, Kyle, or is that it?
I echo everything you said about your negatives, minus the part where you said you enjoyed yourself. Unfortunately, I did not, but I echo everything that you just described. So,
you can
just matters on what your tastes
happiness,
are with this.
You can be happy
Not
that
in
I
this
was
movie.
happy. Oh, that's just
Oh, well, I am happy
kind.
about that.
You're rude. Guys, what'd you think? Comment below, let us know. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See ya, guys.
Whoop.